Hello and welcome to today's Facebook LinkedIn Live. I'm delighted because I'm chatting with James Mallender, who is the owner and director of the Legal Director, which is disrupting the legal industry. It's going to be talking all about the Legal Director today. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the comments. Do let us know if you can hear us all okay. Give us a like or an emoji. That would be fab. I'm just looking my notepad. I'm going to be chatting today with James. Going to be talking more about the Legal Director, who they are, what they do, the type of clients they serve, and what they're looking for in terms of their next lawyer. So thank you so much, James,
No problem.
for joining us today. It's such a pleasure to chat with you and learn more about you and the Legal Director. So if somebody's watching this and they've not heard about the Legal Director before, could you give us a bit of an overview as to who the Legal Director is?
So we're an SRA regulated law firm, and that is probably where the similarities between us and what you might have in mind as a traditional firm of solicitors ends. We don't employ anyone. It's a consultancy-led model, and the real point of difference is that we exist really to provide the services of a general counsel or a head of legal to SMEs across the economy. So that means that we've got a team of, I think it's about 40. It changes because I'm literally just sort of concluding a couple of consultancy agreements before I go on holiday, but it's about 45, 46 really senior lawyers on our books, and we provide legal services through them to SMEs.
Brilliant. So how do you differentiate then between a recruitment agency that provides lawyers to clients on a temporary basis?
So we don't. It's an interesting point, really. I mean, we are. I guess we're filling a different need. Recruitment agents are looking as we all know, really, looking to fill permanent positions on an employed long-term basis. What we're trying to do is ask our clients to buy legal services in a slightly different way. So that they might be really used to, be buying legal services through traditional law firms, often at great cost, depending on what it is. And we offer a particular service to those clients, whereby actually it's an alternative between the need for an employed general counsel and the use of an external law firm. We come in between that. That's the really key difference.
Okay, yeah, because I know. So you're basically, I don't think we've had to chat before, but so you're providing clients with an in-house lawyer that maybe don't have the workload for a full time.
Yeah, exactly. They're at a particular stage of growth where it makes sense economically to bring some in-house function in-house, but it doesn't quite make sense for them to build out a full legal team. And actually, one of the things our team do really well is through a product that we've got called our Legal Blueprint, actually to help guide our clients and say, well, what does good look like? What should your legal team look like as you grow? If you're growing on this path, do you need your first in-house paralegal? Do you need a 2 or 3 year qualified lawyer to come in and that we can train up and that we can work with to do it? We do that quite regularly, actually. So it's much more hand in glove with a client than might be imagined, actually.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're providing like a consultancy service as well.
Yeah. It's not very different, actually. All the team they're really experienced. They've been doing this for many years, and there's quite a crossover at that sort of high level between the giving of black letter legal advice and the negotiation of contracts and the provision of strategic management and guidance to a board and to an owner. So there's absolutely, it wouldn't be wrong to describe us as a sort of quasi consultancy firm. Yeah, no, that's absolutely right.
Okay. And why were you founded?
Where?
No, why were you founded?
Yeah. Look, so Ed, my business partner, you kindly described me, Liz, at the beginning as the owner. I'm not the owner. There are 3 of us, but so Ed's our CEO and originally founded the business back in 2007, and he did so with the guiding philosophy that SMEs or businesses of particular size they do far better with legal advice from the inside and actually thrive when they've got someone providing genuine business-like legal advice from the inside, just as a general counsel does. In fact, that's what he started doing in 2007, and 2007 was quite some time ago now, before the Legal Services Act reforms really kicked in. He was before the credit crunch, before Lehman in 2008, absolutely. So it was a very, very different world back then, and he I think Ed originally intended it really to be something that he wanted to do personally. Long story short, he now heads up a successful and significantly growing business, which is I think very different to the one he imagined maybe 15 years ago.
Absolutely. So it sounds like you sort of parachute in-house lawyers into organisations that are maybe not quite ready for a full-time employee. How long are those assignments? How many days a week do your lawyers particularly work for a client, and how long are then those assignments last for?
So I'll look at it from sort of both ways. Let's look at it from a client's point of view. We're very flexible. So a client's needs can change, and they can change, depending on the level of growth they're experiencing, or even, the wider economic outlook, really. Generally speaking, we would like to work with a client for a minimum of 2 days a month. 1 day a month is probably not quite enough, and you tend with that short period of time, it's basically about 8 hours. You tend just to be reactive, and you can't really help the business drive forward. So 2 days a month is where we like to start, really, and it goes up to anything up to 3 days a month. 3 days a week is not uncommon, and we do occasionally have sort of permanent full-time roles as well. When you're getting up to 3 days a week, 4 days a week, then naturally the client's going to say, well, would it be easier actually to have a full-time GC? And yeah, it may well be. And that sort of leads me to the other question. What our team want to do is, we look at it from the client point of view, what we really want the team to have are numerous clients rather than just one. So average client numbers between for the team are somewhere between 2 and 8, and the reason there's such a sort of broad range there is because the team, some of them work part-time, some of them work full-time, some of them have more clients than others. It's a movable feast. The reason we want that is because that introduces resilience to the team. So if they lose a client, then there's the ability to go out and find another one, rather than the other traditional contractor model, which is have a contracting role, that role finishes, there's no income coming in. So we'd far rather have something that's a bit more resilient. And that's also shown in the sort of length of the contracts that we have with our clients, or the length of time that we work with them, which averages out about 2.5 years. So
a long time.
Yeah, it's quite a long time, and we've got clients that have been with us for a lot longer than that, actually. And it's not just the businesses, but quite often what we'll find is that the founders or the CFOs or the non-execs, chairman, CEOs will bring us in to all of the businesses into which they have either invested or founded. So we end up with a sort of stable, or we end up following our success round, actually, and it becomes a lot more sustainable as a result of that. So we've got a lot of clients that refer an awful lot of work to us, actually, which is
brilliant. I've lost your voice then. I don't know why I've lost your voice.
Hang on, sorry, I missed that,
back,
Liz.
You're back.
I'm back. Yeah, no, sorry. I'm just going to turn my phone off. I don't know why it always cuts in, but anyway, let me turn this off now.
That's all right. The next question I had, once you turned off your phone.
Just irritating. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
There we go.
Who finds the clients then? So if you're a lawyer, it's not all lawyers like selling. Who has to find the clients?
So it's a bit of both, actually. We do 3 things, really. The first one is we find the work ourselves. So we've invested really quite heavily into a marketing, business development, sales function within the business. So that's a key component of what we do and what our team expect us to do. The second thing is we're obviously very happy for those who want to join us to bring their own book of work with them. That's absolutely fine. It's certainly not a prerequisite. And the third thing we do, which really differentiates us from other contractor models that are out there, is that we'll actively work with all of our team to help them generate business from their own network. So I'm often I'm often told by very senior GCs that I speak to quite regularly, well, I don't have a network. I've only been working in these businesses for the last 15, 20 years. And my response to that is, you definitely have a network. You've got a really, really good one. This is how you find it. This is who you need to be talking to. LinkedIn is absolutely crucial to us for that. LinkedIn and and other forms of social, but particularly LinkedIn. It's just it's a sort of, what we do is a real extension to what we would expect ourselves to deliver business out. It's something that we really work hard with for each of the team members.
Brilliant. And in terms of the lawyer, what sort of skill set are you looking for?
For the lawyers themselves,
yeah.
So as broad a skill set as possible. We particularly want to speak to people, or to bring people into the business who've got significant in-house experience. I wouldn't say no to private practice partners of a particular type. I quite regularly interview them, but it's probably not. We're probably not the right vehicle, generally speaking, for a corporate partner coming out of a Magic Circle law firm. We'd be much more appropriate for a partner who's got a much broader practice, a lot of corporate, a lot of commercial, happy to sort of get your hands dirty on lots of things, which of course is the role of a general counsel, which is why we love talking to GCs with that breadth of experience. They're the ones that really work, actually. Yeah, it doesn't matter what background, it doesn't matter where in the country, really. No, it doesn't make any difference to us. Like us all, I guess, Liz, isn't it? Post-pandemic, geography doesn't really make a huge amount of difference to most of the clients. Yes, they want to see a bit of FaceTime occasionally, but it's not something that we slavishly follow. And we're also not set up on a postcode area, so we've got lots of people in London. We've also got lots of people in Yorkshire, for instance. It's just.
What about Scottish qualified lawyers? Because I know.
Yes. Always worth a conversation. It's not quite as. So yes, the short answer is yes. I would absolutely love to have a conversation with those who are qualified in different jurisdictions. More important thing is what you've done with that qualification. Are you practicing English law? Have you been working in the UK for a long time? What does your CV look like? So it's relevant, but it isn't a yes or a no. I mean, the Scotland system is very, very different from a regulatory point of view, which we have to keep an eye on, but it's absolutely worth a conversation.
Okay, so why should somebody watching this consider joining your firm as opposed to maybe working, as an in-house lawyer somewhere else? What's the benefit of joining the legal director?
I think in one word would be flexibility, and that has many meanings. The one that I'm consistently told when I speak to people is the need to bring balance into your life. So I speak, as I said, I speak to a huge number of candidates on this every month, and the one thing that really, really chimes is, I want to spend more time either with my kids, or I want to spend more time for myself, or I've got a passion project for which I just can't devote any time if I've got an employed role. I've reached the stage in my life where I definitely don't want to work for anybody anymore at all. And surprisingly, that can be at quite a relatively early age. Sometimes you expect people to,
I know.
You'll know that, Liz.
I mean, it wasn't
what you're doing.
legal, but it was a teacher, and she retired at 50, and then was just looking for a second career to do something.
Exactly. It's the median age in our business is 49 for both men and women, and it's that stage of life that you end up having conversations with people, because they want to. It's partly a pandemic bounce as well. People have had embedded into their working life the ability to work from home and the ability to work flexibly, and that's been baked into our business from pretty much since the day we started. So the pandemic, look, it was horrific for everybody. We didn't have to pivot quite as much as bricks and mortar firms did, because we were working from home. Our clients knew we were working from home, and we were working flexibly at the same time. So that's just in one word, flexibility is the key, I think.
Yeah. What about the financials? Because I suppose it does make some people quite nervous.
It does.
Sort of maybe being like a
Yeah,
consultant,
yeah,
self-employed, you only get paid, I guess,
yeah,
when you work. What would you say to those people?
What would I say? So I'll just spool back slightly in terms of the sort of mindset that you need to make this successful, because I think that leads then on to the finances. You've definitely got to have an entrepreneurial mindset. You've definitely got to want to make this work. You've got to be the phrase business development encompasses masses of things. What it isn't in our world is going to cocktail bars with people and pressing the flesh. That doesn't really cut it. It doesn't work. Business development is about earning the right to work for somebody through trust, really, and that comes in many forms. So you've got to have an entrepreneurial mindset. You've got to want to do some business development. You've got to want to do something for yourself. If you've got that sort of outlook, then you'll find that you will, and you've got to have the ability to give yourself time to make this work. That's where it differs from the contractor model, really. In terms of the finances, our average wage, I don't like, well, wage doesn't work, but our average net take home for the team is around about £100,000. And that's for somebody who is definitely not working full time. It'll be, that'll be 3-ish days a week. And for those that really want to go for it, it's how many have we got this year? I think it was 7 or 8 who were above £150,000 per annum, and that's a revenue share arrangement. So the actual billings to the client will be significantly more than that, and those guys are working full time, absolutely no doubt about it. And in many cases, those numbers have been achieved really quite quickly. So within 12 months is absolutely not beyond the bounds of possibility. And interestingly, given what you do, Liz, we keep stats on our top 10 earners. 7 of our top 10 earners for the last 4 years have been female, and different ones as well. So it's not just it's not just the same names every year. That there are different ones that come and go, which I think is a great stat. I really do.
What about when they join? Because I know they're joining self-employed, but do they get sort of support, mentoring, coaching?
Yeah. Massive amounts. So from the first 12 months is really key. So absolutely BD support from day one, and all the way through. Onboarding support in respect of all the tech that we've got. That's baked in as well. We run, and we're really key to us is the culture that we've got within the team, and the fact that the team want to know each other. We all work from home to some extent. Our business, as I said, has had that baked in. We've always prided ourselves on doing quarterly meetings, which we do every quarter. Obviously, we do regional lunches every sort of 6 weeks or so in various different cities all around the country. We do monthly one-to-ones, so every team member will have a monthly one-to-one with either me, Ed, or Kirsty, the 3 owners. And interspersed with that is lots and lots of ongoing contact with our support functions, particularly our BD team. And we run things like seminars, legal updates, the various things that the team need for their day-to-day purposes, really. So yeah, huge amounts of support we give.
And I guess that's the benefit of joining someone like you than going completely going off on your own, like setting up as a freelancer. Is there any other benefits?
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, the other benefits, sort of the features, really are yes, you don't need to. If you're going to do this on your own, then you're going to need to get your own PI cover. You're going to need to pay for your own IT system. You're going to need to do all the billing, all the invoicing, all the admin, all of the stuff that goes with that. You don't have to do any of that back office at all with us. It's taken care of, and there's a subscription to Practical Law, which most of the team can't do without, actually. Or at the moment it's Practical Law. I know we've got LexisNexis that's out there as well, but at the moment it's Practical Law, and a subscription to that is, when you do it on your own, is not cheap. So we fund that as well, and PI cover. So that's all done from day one, actually. So look, I speak to loads of people who want to do this on their own, and best of luck. It's great if you do. It really is. It's you can make a really rewarding and fulfilling career out of it. I know 2 or 3 people who I follow on LinkedIn who've said no to us after sort of many months of talking and said, look, do you know, I really think I can do this on their own. That's fantastic. That really is, you know, absolutely fantastic. You're doing what we do anyway, so the more people that do that, the better. You know, come and talk to me if you get lonely in the future, or if you need mentoring, if we're, you know, happy to do that. It's absolutely fine by me.
Yeah, but I suppose that, I mean, as a business owner myself, you know, I mean, I'm just thinking yesterday, I spent a lot of the day chasing up invoices,
Yep.
and it's not a fun day, and it's
Not a
definitely
fun
not
day.
what I enjoy doing
It's
at
not what
all.
you enjoy doing at all.
And it's
Absolutely
not
not.
recruitment, it is just the boring, getting paid.
It is. Getting
Basically.
paid. Absolutely. That's what it is, isn't it?
And final question is about the spread of clients. So is there any particular sector you specialize in, or you working cross industry?
So we tend not to work particularly deeply into the financial services world. It's not to say we don't have sort of FS clients. We do, but we tend to find that financial services businesses, mainly because they're so heavily regulated, hire an in-house financial services lawyer much earlier in their growth than a business of similar size doing something else. So we tend not to be able to add a huge amount of value to financial services businesses. As I said, it's not to say we don't have them. We do, and I guess it depends on what your definition of financial services are, because that's an enormous, huge part of the economy. I guess I probably mean we don't really work for heavily regulated businesses. I expect that's probably more accurate. Other than that, we're completely sector agnostic. We don't mind at all. We've got a slight bent towards manufacturing, retail, and tech businesses. What is a tech business? You'd be hard pressed to find any business that doesn't have tech, you know, embedded in it. So that's relevant. But apart from that, no, it does go from, you know, it goes from AI software businesses all the way to pet food manufacturers and everything in between. Doesn't matter where they are, really. They can be international as long as they are trading in the UK. They can be UK based with lots of international trade. That's absolutely fine. It doesn't. I mean, and in terms of size, I think it's really difficult because, you know, we've got where do you draw the line? But an ideal client for us would be sort of 50 to 75 million turnover, growing quickly in whatever field they're in, with 100 plus employees maybe, and who don't have often private equity or family office backed. They've gone through some you know, decent funding, and they're often really struggling with their internal processes and structures because they've grown so quickly. So it's those sort of businesses where we know we can make the biggest difference and the quickest difference by introducing real structure and real understanding of what a legal function should look like, as well as dealing with the legal issues that they've got. So they're sort of, yeah, that's quite broad brush.
No, it sounds brilliant, because it sounds like a role where you can really add value. You're not just providing that legal service,
yeah,
you actually
absolutely.
helping that company go from like here to here.
Absolutely, exactly right. And that's, you know, apart from the flexibility, one of the surveys that we did of the team, in fact, I think it was the first one we did maybe 3 or 4 years ago, the thing that came out most clearly was that the team want to do interesting work for interesting businesses, to satisfy their curiosity, not just from a legal point of view, but from a business point of view, and from a curiosity point of view. That's what really drives the relationships that we've got, and that's what comes through massively when I speak to team members and candidates as well. That's what they really want to do.
And do they have, you know, someone, you just mentioned manufacturing, someone has got, does somebody would have to have a manufacturing background to work for those manufacturing?
No, not really. We often see it from a client point of view. It's clients who are saying, well, I work in manufacturing, therefore I'm only going to talk to somebody who's got manufacturing experience. That holds water to a degree, and it is a factor. We do look at it, but generally speaking, a seasoned in-house lawyer can jump from industry to industry with relative ease. There tends to be very little specialism. You know, if you're a seasoned GC, you're going to get your hands dirty on everything. that would be the case in any industry in which a team member would work. It is a factor, though, for sure. If there's a very particular industry and we've got a very particular expertise, it makes it easier to put somebody with that expertise into the business. But more often than not, we'd challenge the clients and say, you know, we've got an excellent person here, doesn't quite have the right experience, but we know that the skills that this person has are the right skills for your business. So we try not to just, you know, take it as read, actually, and do a sort of fairly deep understanding of what the client is actually trying to achieve.
Brilliant. Made me want to join. I wish I'd done more.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. So where can people find you, connect with you, learn more about
connect with me on LinkedIn. You know, absolutely fine. I'm open to any approach on LinkedIn. That's absolutely fine. Contact us at using our website. There's a web form, so go to www.legaldirector.co.uk. There's a form on there, just fill it in, it'll come to me, and it'll also come to Georgie Rylance, who's our recruitment manager. Email me directly, james.mallender@thelegaldirector.co.uk. Email Georgie at georgie.rylance@thelegaldirector.co.uk. Give me a ring, whatever, I'm easy.
He's very easy to chat to. Thank you so much, James, for joining us today. It's a pleasure to chat with you and learn more about the Legal Director.